Right. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Right. Can you all hear me? Really sorry. Yesterday I was had a small issues in this electricity. Right. Fine. Right. Shall we start? Are you all ready to start?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Then we'll start. Right. Who can read this slide?
Educational philosophy focuses on the purpose and objectives of educational planning, programs, and process when it comes to teaching and inspiring students to learn. An education philosophy for a place of education may influence what and how subjects are taught.
Right. What is the education and philosophy? Focus on purpose and objectives of educational planning. Now, for example, now do you know you all are teachers? No, you all are you working in the as a school?
Yes, ma'am. And
Where?
I think it's only me now. Irma left, I guess. Yeah, she's there.
Sorry. Where are you working, darling?
I'm working as a earliest educator and I'm working in Dubai. Currently residing in Dubai.
Ah, right, fine, okay. Now, for a if you are doing you're working as a teacher, every day morning you have to take your lesson plan. Can you do without lesson plan? Can you teach for anything, any subjects without lesson plan? Can you teach? Without lesson plan, without preparation, without programming yourself, can you teach for any subject or
Oh.
any lesson?
No, we have to go through it and we have to prepare ourselves like preparation.
Right, fine. If it is the as a English even, if we are focusing the grammar part, we must to plan ourselves. The main thing is philosophy. Planning is main important of that. The subject wise or the classroom or you are going to make it as a full entire unit in each subject or entire module. You have to plan. First you have to decide what is that. If it is a for example the educational philosophy, you have to introduce what is the philosophy and what are the things we are observing in this philosophy. What is the objectives are there, and you have to give what is the outcomes of this philosophy. If they learn the philosophy, how what is the outcomes we can see, and what is the valuation you can focus with them. These 5 things you have to mention in your any other lesson plan or the classroom or any plans. As a teacher you have to follow these 5 things. Okay. Shall we read this, Taranka?
What is an example of a philosophy of teaching? Teaching philosophy statement examples. I am to bring an open mind, a positive attitude, high expectations to the classroom each day. I believe that I owe it to my students as well as the community to bring consistency, diligence, and warmth to my job in the hope that I ultimately inspire and encourage such traits in the children as well.
Right. Then what is the philosophy? What are the examples of philosophy? What are the examples of philosophy? First is a
Open minded, to be open
open mind.
minded.
Yeah, to be open mind. How you are going to be a open mind? Your words should be very clear. When you are explaining anything, that word should be very clear. For example, if you are teaching articles for the children, what is the vowel letters? You have to give that words, and with that letters, it should be very careful and it should be a very clear way. After that, consonants. If you are giving a consonants, it should be very clear and pronunciation is very important. Okay, it should be very open way. And when you are teaching, it should be very open mind also. Okay, right. After that, positive attitudes. What is that positive attitudes you are going to learn? See, what are the positive attitudes? Can you give an example of positive attitudes? Now, for example,
Always try to give a positive feedback, like even the negative
yeah,
outcomes
yeah,
are there, comes with feedback.
yeah, we have to motivate them. That's the main thing. We have to motivate them. Okay, motivation is very important for the students. When you motivate them, they will become very huge, talented in this work. Always be with them, behind with them, and motivate. Give positive things. Okay. After that, what is the point?
High expectation.
Mm. What is that high expectation? Can you give me
Expecting
a,
maximum out of the students.
yeah, you have to keep always very good quality and very high quality expectation from the students. They can do anything. They can do the naughty things even. But you have to believe your child, your children can do. If you are giving such a great homework or any project work, they can do very neatly, very clearly. If your teaching party should be positive way, if you are giving a quality, you can get the quality of outcome. If you are teaching way, your way of teaching is should be very what do you call, very impress. You have to impress them with your words, with the examples. When you are giving each and every word, if you are giving an example for the, especially for the primary section or the pre-primary section, if you are giving a more the teaching aids, if you are using for a particular module, if you are using more teaching aids with them, if you are working with them a group work or the game work, you can expect high higher expectation is you can get outcomes from them. Okay. You have to believe this. My own students, my students, they can do this thing, and you have to what do you call? The teachers have to always. Teachers have to be the your role is unlimited. The teacher's role is not unlimited, not limited. This is my limit. I can teach only this because my according to my payment, my income, I have to teach this. You can't see. You can't say. Okay, it is service. Teaching is not a job. It is service. Then you have to give your full service to children. Okay, okay. Understood or not?
Yeah, ma'am.
Understood. Everybody? I think there is 2 or 3 members are there. What happened to others? Shall I give a small question? Can you write the answers? Then we can get a small idea. Is it okay? Shall I give a small question for you to write? But you have to write now answers. Can Taranka?
Yeah, I will do, ma'am.
Give me a minute. How to explain the how to explain the how to explain the educational philosophy how to explain the educational philosophy with examples. With examples. Can you explain me? Can if I give 20, 15 minutes time, is it enough for you to explain?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, then I'll give 15 minutes time for you to write the answers. Right. Are you finished? Taranka, you are finished, darling. Taranka, you are finished, darling.
Yeah, I sent as a picture. Is it okay, or should I type it on it?
Just wait a little. It's getting low. If you can read it should be fine.
Sure, I will. Education philosophy is a set of beliefs and principles that guide and inform an individual approach to education. It gives us purpose of education and the role of teachers and students and methods of teaching and learning and decide outcome. That is which we like feel as elements of the lesson plan in practice. So as teachers, we should remember that all children are unique and they grow and they experience different educational environment, and where they grow physically, and the outcomes when you're expecting their grow. Yeah, it should. I'm so sorry. 1 minute. Where they grow physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially in different levels. So as teachers, our responsibility is to cater to them to meet their full potential, like to meet their different levels. So in there, we can follow a few guidelines as to keep our teaching very brief, clear, and always to be as the first person approach, like we are talking, like directly talking to them, and make it very specific. So I feel like those are the practical things that we, as examples, we can use.
Yes, that should be fine. Now, there is a small question. If you are getting an special need unit, okay, in your class, you are working as a teacher, you are in your class, if you are having an hyperactive child,
Yeah.
what is you are going to focus for them? With him or her?
Did you specify any specific need? I didn't get the last point which you mentioned.
If you are going to teach the one hyperactive child in your class,
Okay, yeah, okay.
then how we are
Right.
going to plan your subject, plan your unit, the module for them?
Yes. Then the first thing I have to make sure that the child is most occupied, like not to get other children distracted because of him or herself.
Very good.
So I should like in my like what we use in practical in my lesson plan, we always have annotation for special needs children. So there should be different activities, and sometimes we have to give one-to-one. So after the lesson, the main input, we take one-to-one time with them, or like especially all the time the different activity they will go with.
Then if you are focusing the practical subjects, it should be fine with them. If it is a theory unit, if you are doing some practical with them, it should be fine. Okay, in your lesson plan, if you are writing a lesson plan, you just think and you can add more practical things with them.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Shall we read this? Right. Can you read this, darling?
Sure, Mama. I think Ilma is there if she wants to come in. Yeah, I'm so like I feel like I'm like doing the more the talking without giving her chance.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Many aims have been proposed by philosophers and other educational theorists. They include the cultivation of curiosity and the disposition to inquire, the fostering and creativity, the production of knowledge and the knowledgeable students, the enhancement of understanding, the promotion of moral thinking and feeling.
Right. If you take a classroom, you can see different kind of children. Okay. Then you have to decide first your classroom with three category groups. One is they are very talented, knowledgeable children. Okay. We will say the bright students. And second part, it is medium level. They can do the work, not much. When we are comparing with the bright students, they are in a these students are coming second group. And third one is slow learners. Okay, they was having a small ability with writing part and the reading part. Okay, they have small slow ability. Okay, those type of children, if it is the slow learners, if you are in your class, what is the philosophy you are going to apply for them? You have to give your more attention to bright students or the middle or the low students, low capacity. You have to.
Yeah, Miss, I'm so sorry. Just can I tell you something? I got a message from Ilma, and she says that it's too hard to catch up with the I think due to the connection.
Uh,
Uh, she just want to pass the message to you. Yeah,
all
that
right,
she's
fine.
not responding because the internet is very slow.
Oh my God! Here we have this training.
Okay.
Okay. Then when we are doing a lesson for the classroom, we can prepare the one lesson plan, but we have to focus for three category group children.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we are planning one thing, planning to present one main thing, but we have to present in a three part of way. When you're explaining a small explanation, you can give a small explanation to the small for the as it is a classroom grade 2 classroom. You can see there is a bright students. You can give a 2 or 3 words. You are explain. It should be fine. They can catch up. If it is a middle stage student, you have to give more than 3 or 4 times for them. If it is a slow learners, you have to teach them. You have to take them to your closer, and you have to teach them. Okay, you have to teach them. Okay. Then I just wanted, if you can take a small chapter and giving a practical ideas uh, with your lesson plan. If you can write a small lesson plan for 3 category groups, then I can see whether you are capable for that. Can, for example, shall I give a small topic for you? Can you write a lesson plan for that? I don't want the full structure of the lesson plan. I just wanted in the lesson plan how you are going to present that for the all 3 categories.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll try, ma'am. You give me the topic, then I will try. Like, is it
Yeah,
that how they will achieve this kind of step to success? The high achievers
yeah,
will
yeah,
achieve
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is the main thing.
Let's try.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'll give a small topic in mathematics. Okay. Now we'll focus for the primary class 1, 2, 3. Okay. Uh, shall we write the number pattern? Shall we introduce the number pattern?
Okay. Yeah.
You can
Right.
take
Okay.
two options. It can
Mm-hmm.
be a odd number and the even number. Okay, in the number pattern, you can teach the odd number and the even number. You just introduce your lesson plan for me for 3 category groups.
Okay.
Okay, right. I'll give a
Okay.
15 minutes time is okay, na? To prepare
Yeah. No
yourself.
problem.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Okay. Right. Taranka, shall we read your answers? Taranka?
Yeah, ma'am. Sorry. Right. One sec. Yeah. The first three I showed like to identify simple repeating pattern, to identify the next number comes in the pattern,
Mm,
to recognize, and like mostly the two. That is for the low learners.
mm,
And the next, to recognize and understand the concept of number pattern, to complete the next two numbers of a number pattern, to find
mm,
the missing number in the pattern. That comes from the middle achievers. And for the higher achievers, to complete more than 3 different number patterns, to recognize mistake in the number pattern, to recognize and correct the mistake in the number pattern and continue the pattern, to be able to explain the pattern. That means to be able to actively explain, participate in the conversation and explain what they have done in their work. That's for the higher achievers.
right. Okay. Then you have to show with the number, how you are going to show the number pattern. You have to write now, or you are going to make it, what do you call, teaching aids.
Teaching aids, like we can give tasks for the higher achievers, they can make their own pattern, like we can give make their own patterns and independent by themselves and
Mm,
um, challenge their friends. We can do like that activities like that.
mm. Right. Okay. That should be part of it. Shall we read this? Taranka?
Sure. Philosophical thoughts and why it is important in education. The philosophy of education is important because it provides a basis of understanding the nature and purpose of education. It allows us to consider the questions that are at the heart of education.
What is the question that are at the heart of education? That when the teacher is teaching, when teacher is teaching, before teaching, you are planning yourself and you are planning your chapter module. Okay. Uh, once you plan in your chapter and all, right, you have to think, is it a good way of I'm giving my presentation? Okay. In my presentation, they can learn, they can absorb. Okay. You have to think. They can, what do you call, they can absorb means they have to get any importance of that. You have to give only the importance of that body. Okay, right. Then providing the basic for understanding the natural and the purpose of education. Okay, importance. The main thing is when you are teaching anything, you have to bring that from your heart fully education to them. And you have to give what is the main importance of that in that main topic. Okay. Base that important the child or the opposite person or the student have to understand very perfectly. Okay. Now, for example, if I ask, can you give us 3, 4 example to introduce the physiological, educational physiology, or educational philosophy? Can you give 3, 4 with the 3, 4 examples? Can you give a small brief of the educational philosophy? Can Taranka? Can or can't? With I complete 6 modules, 6 what do you call slides. Within these 6 slides, can you explain me?
Yes, in education, what is education philosophy and few examples? Right?
Yeah,
Of course,
you, of course, right. Then you got a small idea of that.
yeah.
Then you have a basic understanding in that.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Are you feeling that for with this 4th slides, it is my heart teaching is there? My heart
Yes,
of
that
teaching is there?
yes, you was able to give me something. That means, yeah, I have achieved. Then it's like you have done your, like, even from your heart.
Right. That is the thing you have to, when you're finishing the teaching, when you finishing means finishing that particular day chapter, particular unit, then you have to feel all the students are understand or not. With their face you can see. If they didn't understand, they didn't go through of that module, they didn't capture that main thing, they was not giving a answer for that. They are, if we are giving an activity also, they are not doing, they will skip that activity. Okay, if they are
Yeah,
not skidding and they are doing that particular activity on time, you think your teaching is perfect, they understood very well. Okay, shall we read this little?
yeah. What are the aims and objectives of philosophy? The study of philosophy enhances a person's problem solving capacities. It helps us to analyze concepts, definitions, arguments, and problems. It contributes to our capacity to organize ideas and issues, to deal with questions of value, and extract what is essential from large quantities of information.
Right. Now, what is the aim of objective you can see in the philosophical? What is the
To
aim you
enhance
have?
to or improve the problem solving.
The aim is a problem solving capacity. Okay, darling? Then what is the objective you have to see? You can see from this philosophy. You have to focus the objective. What is the objective you have to focus from this philosophical? What is the objective you
it
have
help
to
us
see?
to it help us to analyze the concept of the problem, like what we are learning.
Mhm. Right, that's good. Okay, objectives are, what is the objectives? There is 4 objectives in there. What are the 4 objectives?
To help us to analyze concepts, definitions, arguments, and problems.
Right, fine.
Okay.
Okay, right. Then when you are now, for example, if you are taking a mathematics subject, we will get a lot of problem of that. Okay, if you are doing a pattern, number pattern, you first, for example, I will do it here in this down part. For example, now we are going to introduce the, what do you call, I will take it. Okay, now for example, we are going to introduce the, I can't do anything here. Yesterday also I have the same issues. Okay, fine. Now you can see when we are introducing a number pattern for the small kids, okay, we have to see first we are introducing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, why it's a order. It's a order එකක් නේ. Is it a order? That is a order. Number line,
Yep.
number order is there. Basic number order is there. We are not introducing number 10 because that is 2 digits, only for the number 9. And in that number, up to number 9, you have to introduce 2, 4, 6, 8, that 4 number. What do you call for this 4 number?
It's a number pattern, even number pattern.
This is called even number pattern. Right, fine. How do you got this is an even number? When you are introducing the number pattern, this is the number pattern means, no, sorry, this is the number pattern and we are introducing a odd number and the even number. You have to try to do this for the primary section. You have to try to do this. You have to give the objects for them according to the number. Now, for example, if we are taking number 2, for number 2, we can give 2, 0. Okay, 2 circles. And for 4, we are introducing how many balls?
4.
4 balls. Then you have to introduce the 2 balls and 4 balls. Can you group these 4 balls to 2 or 3 groups without getting any reminders? Then student have to know this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can group this. Okay, we can divide to 2 groups. If we are dividing to 2 groups, there is no balance. Then those are even numbers. If we are not getting any balance when the dividing the number of 2, we are not getting any balance, it is going to be an even number. When you are introducing the even numbers, you should have to introduce those things. Those are keywords. We call for that keywords, key things. Okay. Some of teachers we are not introducing so far that. Some teacher will for myself, when I was in the grade 4, 5 class, I studied Tamil medium. They didn't teach like this. But when I am introducing for the primary section, for the even odd numbers, for the grade 2 or 3, 4, 5, I will go through of this. Because they have to know the basic thing. Okay. They have a question. How we can say this is an even number? How we can say number 3 is an odd number? Okay. We have to see, we have to check. If we are introducing the number 2 for the even number, we can do the 2 groups. We can divide that to 2 groups. 1 plus 1. 1 ball and 1 ball in 2 groups. When you are introducing the even numbers, first introduce, you have to do the 2 groups. With these numbers, you have to divide these numbers into the 2 groups without getting any balance of objects which you have. Then you can introduce 4 balls with them. You can give the 4 balls for them. And they have to put it into the 2 baskets or the 2 dustbin without keeping their small balls or any object with their hand. If they are keeping a small object with them, it is not going to be a even number. It is going to be a odd number. Okay, you have to introduce that. This is the way. Okay, this is the way for them. Okay. Now, do you understand how the way you have to teach the chapters for them? For the,
Yeah.
this is the philosophy of keys. These are the keys we have to follow in the philosophy. Method. The main thing is when you're taking a subject to teach for them, you have to keep the method with you. It is can be your own method. It is you can make it your own method for them. That should be a worry. That is not going to be a problem. But you have to follow the method. You have to decide if I'm teaching this method, if I'm planning this chapter to teaching like this, teaching way of this, then they can absorb, they can understand very well if you can implement your plan. If the child is not understanding with that planning, suddenly you have to change the plan and you have to make it a different way to introducing that chapter to small for the students. Okay, we can go very fastly with the bright students, darling. But when we are introducing a small the what do you call slow learners, we have to give this object way they will capture because physically, sorry, by the eye coordination, they can absorb to the brain without theory. With the practical, they can absorb very well. That's why the educational planning is a very must, not for the small children, not for the middle school children, not for high this upper school children, secondary children. We have to follow the theory as well as practical lesson. Now understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear for you?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Right, fine. Now you are clear with the philosophical keys, objectives.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Shall we read this?
Yeah. Philosophical basis of education important. It helps us to understand the significance of of all human experience and activity. It explores the base and aims of life. It is a logical inquiry into the nature of reality. Philosophy tries to answer the deepest question of life.
I think I don't want to explain this. I don't want to explain this slide. I think you
Yeah.
understood what I'm explaining this.
Yeah.
Because when we are doing the education, when we are teaching for them, darling, definitely we have to see whether child is understood or not. If child didn't understand that particular way, we can change our way and we can give another separate way for them. Now, for example, when we are teaching this, if it is a very low capacity of a child, that child can't understand what is the even and the odd number, you just take it number 2. Number 2. Okay? And we are giving 2 objects. Okay. Then you take like this. This is separate group. Then you make it color different way. And this is separate group. This is should be separate group. Make it different color. Now ask whether number is 2, 2 objects. 2 objects are same color.
No, in different colors.
No, in the different color. then we are going to make it two different colors to one basket or the two different colors to two baskets.
Two baskets.
Two baskets. Why? The objects are two. The objects' colors are different. Then according to the color, we are separating that. Then child can understand what is the way you are introducing, what are you going to introduce. Then in this four, we'll give a separate colors. Sorry. Give me a minute. It is coming again. Okay. In four, do you have four colors are same? All fours are same color?
No, two different colors again.
Two different colors. Then we are going to take all four into one basket or two different baskets?
Two different baskets according to
Two
the colors.
different baskets, right. That is the main thing we have to introduce them. By the color, they can identify. Because of that, in the primary, we have all the items we are introducing by the colors. They can absorb with their eyes. According to the color, they can get some idea. If we are introducing by the colors for them, definitely they will keep in their mind. They are not going to forget it. Okay. Now I think you are clear with this. What is the philosophy
Yes.
of the
Yes,
way we have to introduce them for the teaching part. Shall we read this final recall?
Yeah. The four pillars of education philosophy. Every person involved in education has, over time and as a result of one's unique experiences and educational ideals, developed his or her own personal philosophy of education, whether consciously or unconsciously.
Okay. Then what is the four pillars of the educational philosophy? Can you know what is the philosophy pillars? Four pillars of education.
The learning to do is that thing that is it the thing you're talking about? The learning to do, learning to be.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. The learning to do, the learning to be, the learning to know, and learning to live, like
Yeah,
learning together, to be together.
yeah. Those are the pillars. Then we have to focus those pillars in the teaching way. When we are teaching anything, we have to focus that 4 pillars. Okay, right. Uh, can you focus that 4 pillars in the all subjects? Can you introduce that 4 pillars in all subjects?
Most of the time,
Most of the time. Yeah, most of the time. Part. Because maths, we can't focus that 4 pillars. So science, we can't focus that 4 pillars. But we have
yeah.
to do. When we
Mm-hmm.
are doing the planning, we have to plan ourselves good, and the chapter also, it should be to very clear with them. Okay. Then when you are introducing your chapters for them, you just read. Once you're planning, you just, before planning, you just take a notepad or the notebook and just write. Now for the example, the animal, chapter name is animal. But how you are going to deliver that animal chapter for the student? What is the period time? How many periods you are going to introduce that? How long you are going to take that, the duration of the chapter? And what are the things you are going to focus that in that? Okay. How you are going to evaluate this chapter is understood very well for students. And what is the practical unit you are going to do that? In the practical, what are you focusing outcomes of them? These are the these are the main pillars of the philosophy. If you are taking the chapter, first you have to plan what is the duration of that, how you are going to deliver, what are the first chapter, what is the chapter by chapter, the contents you are going to follow in that module, and what is the practical unit you are going to do, because everything you have to decide whether the practicals are there. If you are focusing practical more than more of 1 or 2 practicals in that, the students will get a good knowledge from them, because they are looking that, they are practically they are feeling that, this is when we do this assignment, this we, this is the thing we can get the outcomes from it. Okay. Then if in your lesson plan, focus more practical things. Okay, because after the pandemic, when we are doing the theory part, or most of the children, they doesn't like to do the theory part. They like to they don't like to do even the exercise. They don't like to write, because in the online sessions they was skipping everything. They skip this and that, everything, and they are not like to do this. Okay. Then when we are coming to the practical part, definitely the children have to do physically every practical thing. Then they will become a normal. Then they can be very actively, they can do the chapter. And that's why after this pandemic, the syllabus are changes to do some practical chapters, practical education. Okay, right. Do you have I give 5 minutes time for you. Just go through of all the what do you call slides and check. Do you have doubts? Just give me. Then I can explain again.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. No doubts.
Yeah, clear.
Everything clear. Fine. Are you clear with my lectures?
Of course, and I felt like very interactive. I'm so happy with the lecture today. Actually, I missed it because I was not feeling well yesterday, so I couldn't join as well. So like it's like then I realized there was no lecture yesterday as well. So like I'm happy. I'm quite happy with everything today.
Okay, thank you. Then write the feedback of chapters the today module, and
Okay.
just read and see whether do you have any doubts. Just keep a note, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll do the the clearing the doubts on next class.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, then you write a normal lesson plan uh, for animals. Take animals group and write the
Mm-hmm.
lesson plan for that, and how the way you are going to present for the all three category groups.
Okay. Right.
Okay, right,
Okay.
fine. That is the homework for you. Then
Okay.
we'll
Do
meet
that.
on next class. I think next
Okay, ma'am.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we'll meet on next class. Today I was little early. I was leaving because only you is there. Nobody is
Yes.
there. I thought to finish wind up the session.
Yeah, sure, sure. No worries.
Okay, okay then. Okay, good
Thank
night.
you.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.
Good night.